Hello everybody, my name is Eric Wood and welcome to AricTalks. It's the show where I talk about things that are important to me. Let's jump right in. First thing on the docket today is the 2016 Summer Olympics hosted by Rio. Oh Rio, whatever happened to you? You used to be so romantic and appropriate subject matter for children's cartoons. Now... To put it simply, everything seems to be going pretty darn wrong for the Brazilians in hosting the 2016 Olympic Games. To start with, the Russian track and field team have been suspended for doping. Rio's drug testing facilities have been determined inadequate by the international community to host the Olympic Games. Add on top of that a massive economic and political instability that has been ravaging the country for months. As many of you might know, the old president of Brazil was unpopular and corrupt. But don't worry, the new president of Brazil is equally unpopular and equally corrupt. And to add on top of all of that, the Zika virus, 2016's version of Ebola. The Zika virus is a virus commonly found in South America, carried by mosquitoes. Children born of mothers who have been infected with the Zika virus often have horrifying disfigurements from birth. All of this insanity has accumulated in one single question. Is it appropriate for Rio to be hosting the 2016 Olympics? The answer is no, but it's too late to back out now. The Olympics were meant to personify good sportsmanship and human unity. And this is a good reminder that it doesn't always do those things perfectly. So anyway, to summarize, the 2016 Olympics are coming up. Get excited, but not too excited. Next on today's docket is some craziness that just happened in California. Traditionalist Workers' Party, Californian political party that advocates for Jim Crow-style segregation, as well as other racist and fascist-type policies, were holding a rally on the steps of the Californian State Capitol building. The rally was being attended by about 30 members of this neo-fascist party, before being confronted by 400 members of an anti-fascist protest. Before you get too excited about these anti-fascists, keep in mind this isn't exactly Gandhi anti-fascism. It's more Stalin anti-fascism. I mean, sure, you're an anti-fascist, but you have a very fascist way of going about your anti-fascism. These 400 anti-fascist protesters showed up to the rally with bats and knives, ready for a violent confrontation. In a horrifying video caught on the phone of an ABC reporter, Francis Wang, you can see one of the anti-fascist protesters shouting out, "F the fascists, beat the fascists, beat the fascists," as someone is tackled to the ground and beat repeatedly with a wooden stick. If you're interested in watching the video, there's a link to it in the description. Shout out to Francis Wang for some top-notch reporting, including running into a cloud of mace to make sure the entire event was documented appropriately. The point is that fascists are bad, but the way these people responded to a legal rally is unacceptable. Violence is not an acceptable response to stupidity. There is only one acceptable response to stupidity, and that is intelligence. Instead of doing anything productive, these protesters have only justified the traditionalist worker party platform. Instead of changing hearts and minds, this protest, which was more of a brutal assault, has only hardened the hearts of these very confused people. Now I'm angry. Let's just move on to the next subject. Clinton email update! The FBI has recently released 160 new emails from Hillary Clinton's personal email account that she refused to give over to the government even after a warrant was issued, including 50 emails that she intentionally deleted before submitting things to the government. 160 pages worth of secret information that Clinton definitely doesn't want you to know. And what have we found in these 160 documents? Nothing! It was 160 standard email work documents. There was nothing special, nothing controversial, nothing incriminating. You're making a scandal out of something that doesn't exist. Everyone right now is calling Hillary Clinton a criminal. What exactly does she belong in jail for? Well, people say that she's been doing all these evil things on her email account. And the reason that people are saying she's been doing all these evil things on her email account is because she has refused to give the government documents. And why did she refuse to do this? No reason, apparently. There is nothing special about these documents that she has desperately been trying to hide. Absolutely nothing relevant. If you just gave the government the documents in the first place, no one would be calling you a criminal. The way I look at it, there are two possibilities. One, Hillary Clinton is just behaving completely irrationally, pretending like there's some massive cover-up when there is literally nothing, or there is something really, really horrible that she's trying to hide, but has nothing to do with her email. Good Lord, it is anticlimactic, is what it is. It's just anticlimactic. Alright, I'm all worked up now. On to some slightly less political news. Cute little Finding Dory completely wrecks Independence Day in box office earnings. But I don't understand, this doesn't make any sense. They're both sequels to nostalgic movies of about the same time period. The only thing that's different about them is that one is underwater and one is in space. That proves it. Underwater is officially cooler than outer space. Sequest DSV, it is your time to shine. By the way, if you understood that reference, you're officially 10 times cooler from my perspective. With that said, thank you so much. If there's any news stories or ideas you want me to look into, give me suggestions in the comments below or email me at AricTalks@gmail.com. That said, let's think deep. Today's show is brought to you by Becoming the Thing You Hate. Becoming the Thing You Hate! One of the great human dilemmas. Do the ends justify the means? And if so, in what context? This is something I've been thinking of a lot lately, especially after that fascist versus anti-fascist brawl in California. There are a lot of things to hate about fascism. Intolerance, suppression of the freedom of speech, violence. Except all of those qualities were found in the anti-fascist protesters who went to go beat up members of the traditionalist Workers' Party. And then once again, you have Brazil. Brazil is in a horrible political and economic situation. Brazil used to function in one of the most corrupt government systems on the planet. This high-level corruption alienated farmers and workers. A lot of really powerful politicians rose up with the promise of bringing power back to the lower-class individuals. In order to do this, however, these new politicians entered into a culture of corruption, which instead of ending that culture of corruption, they simply perpetuated and added to it. This new form of corruption was beneficial to the economically disadvantaged. However, there was still corruption, and slowly this new class of revolutionary politicians were just as bad as the people who came before them. So when asking the question, do the ends justify the means? The only question you're really asking is, are the means turning me into something that I hate? If your goal is to resist fascism, don't become a fascist. If your goal is to resist corruption, don't become corrupt. Becoming the thing you hate does not eliminate the thing you hate. After all, the old cliche is true. What good is it to gain the whole world, but lose your soul? The answer is none. There is no good in that. With that said, that about wraps up the show for today. Just remember, you are a beautiful human being. Try to change the world today, and as always, sincerely yours, Eric Wood.